Right. So, welcome to this sixth class. Today, we'll try to understand the input impedance of inverting amplifier and few more circuits based on operational amplifier. Before we proceed, we will take up the question which is like this: the difference between virtual short and virtual ground. So, what is the difference? This is the question. So, first of all, we'll understand whatever we have studied, that we will consider. So, this is simple circuit of inverting amplifier. Let me quickly draw that. V input, ground. So, in this diagram, we can clearly see that this terminal voltage is 0 volt and this is fixed because it is grounded. Okay, so we can easily write here 0 volt, 0 volt. Now, because the op amp is producing V output and it is in the range of supply voltage, typically say plus minus 12 volt, even if you consider the worst case, that is plus 12 or minus 12, this plus 12 minus 12 divided by the op amp's own gain, I say op amp's own gain, not circuit gain, op amp's own gain, which is ideally infinity, practically very high, of the order of 100,000. The input difference required to produce this output of 12 volt is very small, and we approximate it to 0. For ideal op amp it will be 0, but for practical op amps it is very close to 0. So, we consider that to be 0 for simplicity of analysis. So, with this idea we say that the difference is 0. I repeat this, the difference is 0. I write down here the difference, because this is a difference amplifier. Difference is 0 because the difference is the input. Difference is 0. Now, difference 0 means what? Whatever is one voltage, the other voltage is the same. Now, out of these two voltages, one is Vp, the other is Vn. Okay, other one is Vn. So, out of which Vp is fixed, so Vn must be equal to Vp. So, we write down Vn is equal to Vp. Fine. So, in this case, Vp is 0. So, the equation is Vn is equal to Vp. So, in this case, Vp is equal to 0 and therefore, Vn becomes 0. So, it means the potential at this point, I'll rub out some of the things. Potential at this point will be 0 volt. Now, is this grounded? Is this point grounded? Yes or no? No, it is not grounded, but still it is at 0 volt, therefore it is called as virtual ground. This is called as a virtual ground because it is physically not grounded, but it is at 0 potential. Everybody understood this? Right. Now, let us take one example. Suppose this potential is not 0. This potential is not 0. Suppose I raise this to say 1 volt. I connected a battery. Suppose I connected a battery. Why do I connect a battery? I don't know, or I won't tell now, but this is a battery. So, this voltage will be how much? 1 volt. Okay. So, what is Vp? 1 volt. And we have the same equation because op amp is the same. The op amp's gain is still the same, right? And therefore, Vn will be equal to still Vp. Vn will be still equal to Vp. And therefore, now Vn will be how much? 1 volt, because Vp is 1 volt. So let me write down that here, rubbing out rest of the things. So let me write down that this voltage is 1 volt. Okay. Now can we call it as a virtual ground now? Yes or no? Is it grounded? No, it's not zero potential. So this is not virtual ground, right? This is not virtual ground, but can we call it as a virtual short? Can we call it as a virtual short? Yes. So virtual ground is a special case of virtual short when the non-inverting terminal is at zero potential. Virtual ground is a special case. I write down that. Therefore, virtual ground is a special case of virtual short when Vp is equal to 0 volt. Everybody understood this? So which is special case? Virtual ground is a special case. So which is general case? Not special case. Virtual short is a general case. It means it is applicable everywhere. Therefore, we always say virtual short and we try to avoid virtual ground, because virtual ground is only when the Vp is 0. Otherwise not. So we will always talk about virtual short. Does this answer your question? Okay, great. So everybody understood this thing because of your question. So thanks for asking question. Right. So today we will understand input impedance of inverting amplifier. This is first thing we will understand. The difference between virtual short and virtual ground we understood. Two more things we'll understand, or one more thing you can say. So I'll just change the points input. Let me write it in a better way. Input impedance of inverting amplifier circuit. I specifically write here circuit because I am not referring to input impedance of op amp. Okay, we will discuss that and understand that clearly. Second thing we would like to understand is when is the virtual short applicable. It means we are talking of virtual short, we are applying that, we are analyzing the circuit, we are deriving equations. But is there any situation where this concept cannot be applied at all? So those things we will understand today, and then the things will be more and more clear. Fine. So let us start with input impedance of inverting amplifier circuit. So let us draw the circuit of inverting amplifier. You will also you will also draw the inverting amplifier, because then it will be easier for you. Little practice. Fine. So this is our inverting amplifier. Okay. Now let me name the resistors R2 and R1, and the equation of VO is minus R2 by R1 into V input. This is the equation. Minus R2 by R1 this is the equation, and V input may come from some sensor or some signal source. Now the signal source may have some internal resistance, possibly like RS and V input. It can be DC or AC. It depends on the parameter. But we'll in general draw some signal source. Fine. Now tell me the voltage at non-inverting terminal. 0 volt. Now tell me the voltage at inverting terminal. Because of the virtual short concept, it will also be 0 volt. Okay. Now imagine that you are R1. Imagine that you are R1. So your right hand side, this point is grounded. Yes or no? So R1's, it is grounded, though virtually it is grounded, and left hand side is connected to input. So it is as good as like this. It is the circuit is as good as like this: RS, V input, and then R1. As far as V in is concerned, it is observing R1 like this only, because R1's right hand side is grounded virtually. Everybody understanding this? Yes or no? Okay. So if you imagine now you are signal source, then what will you see? You will see only R1. You will not see R2 because R1 is grounded. So the current from V input source will flow like this only. As far as the current value is concerned, the value will be I R1 will be V in divided by Rs plus R1. If you neglect Rs, then it will be simply R1. Right? Everybody understood this? So if I ask you a question, if I ask you a question, suppose if I ask a question that this is inverting amplifier, in which R1 is 1K and R2 is 10K, what is the input impedance Z in of the circuit? It is equal to R1. Everybody understood this? So for inverting amplifier, the input impedance is decided by R1. So write down this: for inverting amplifier, the input impedance Z in is decided by R1. Okay. Now imagine that there is a signal source. Suppose some sensor is connected, some temperature sensor or some sensor is connected. Some sensor is connected. Okay. Now imagine that you are a sensor. How much resistance you will feel when the sensor is connected to inverting amplifier? So the sensor will observe that there is 1K resistance here or Z1 resistance here. Everybody understanding this? As if R1 is there. So the amount of current drawn from the sensor will be decided by this R1. Okay. For example, if this is 1 millivolt or maybe it's okay 1 millivolt and the resistance is 1K. So the current will be 1 millivolt divided by 1K. It will be 1 microampere. This will be the current. If it is 1 volt, then it will be 1 milliampere. Right? Fine. So is this good or bad? Let us decide whether it's good or bad. Expected or not expected, desired, not desired. What is your opinion? Imagine yourself as the sensor. So what sensor expects that it should supply voltage and it is typically incapable of supplying the current because sensors are tiny, small and they are not expected to supply the current. They are expected to provide the voltage signal. So if somebody tries to draw some current from the sensor becomes unhappy. Right? Now how do we put it in electrical terms? We can show the same thing. Suppose we have a sensor. This is the sensor. Now sensor is indicated by a signal source and RS, its own internal resistance. If the sensor is weak source of signal, one of the weak source of signal is ECG. Everybody knows about electrocardiogram. So the person's electrical activity of the body is checked, and for that some wires are connected to the body. So through the wires the signal is sensed. Right? Suppose there is a person here and some probes are connected to the body. These are the wires, and there is a circuit which tries to draw some current. Then the body will say that I am not able to supply the current, I am just signal source. Right? The signal will be lost, probably signal will be improper if we try to load the source of signal. So because sometimes the source of signal is weak, very similar to our body. It's electrical activities are happening in our body, but when we sense those electrical activities through electrocardiogram or uh, some other equipment, then the body cannot supply large amount of current. It is not expected. So it is our duty to connect a circuit whose impedance is high. It means the next circuit, whatever we use, should have Z in large. Z in should be large. If Z in is large, then this fellow is happy because it need not supply current. How to make Z in large? We have to make R1 large. Everybody understood this much? Okay. Now why this is useful is that, for example, suppose we are designing inverting amplifier with gain is equal to 5, and the equation is minus R2 by R1. Now this much gain you can get with resistors 1 ohm and 5 ohm, 1 kilo ohm and 5 kilo ohm, 1 mega ohm, 5 mega ohm, 10 mega ohm, 50 mega ohm. All these pairs will result in gain is equal to 5. Yes or no? Right. But in each case, the input impedance of the circuit will be different. For the first case, the input impedance will be 1K. For the 1 ohm. For the second case, it will be 1 kilo ohm. In the third case, it will be 1 mega ohm. In the fourth case, it will be 10 mega ohm. So whatever you need, you have to choose the appropriate pair. Whatever input impedance you require, based on you choose the pair, instead of randomly picking up some resistors. So this understanding is useful for designing the actual circuit, real circuit. Everybody understanding this? Okay. So let us take one small example which you will be able to do very easily, but let us do that. So decide the values of resistors in an inverting amplifier where gain is 10 and input impedance desired is 2K. So quickly do that. When you are done, you can type D. Right. So what is the answer? Value of R1 is obviously 2K, and value of R2 is equal to 2 into 10, that is 20K. Right. So we are able to make decisions which will be useful in implementing the circuit, creating the circuit, designing the circuit. Fine. I hope you understood the purpose for which we started this topic. We are able to decide the resistor values by which we will be able to implement the circuit, and the circuit will work as it is without any issue. Okay. Now the same question can be asked in a different way. Sunil was using an inverting amplifier the sensor resistance Rs is equal to 300 ohms, find R1 and R2 for gain is equal to 5. Right, this is one more way of asking the same thing. Let us see how to attempt this. What is given is a sensor. Let us say sensor is this source of signal. Rs is given. It means sensor's own resistance is given. This is our sensor. ये total हमारा sensor है. Right, and then we have a amplifier circuit. And this is the input impedance of the circuit, which we know equal to R1. Okay, we know, and this is only for inverting amplifier. Right, now Rs is how much? 300 ohms. In order to avoid loading, I repeat this, in order to avoid loading of Zin onto the source of the signal, I repeat the whole thing once again, in order to avoid the loading of or loading by Z input onto the signal source, the relation should be like this. I will write two equations, you choose the correct one. Zin should be very large as compared with Rs, and Zin should be very small as compared with Rs. So this is first equation, this is second equation. Choose the right one based on your intuition. First one. So input impedance should be very high. So let us rub out the other one. Let us rub out the other one. Right. So this is the proper equation. Right. Very high means at least 10 times, 20 times, more than 10 times. So you choose the factor 30 times, whatever. Okay. Suppose if we stick to the first one, why to stick to this? It's a thumb rule. At least it should be 10 times larger. You can have better performance if it is 20 times larger. So let us start with something. Suppose if we choose Zin is 20 times Rs. Why? For ensuring that there is no or very less loading by whom? Loading by Zin on signal source. Right. So this we understood. So 300 is given. So you know Zin. Once you know Zin, it is equal to R1. And once you know R1, you can find R2. Likewise, you can solve the given problem. Everybody understood this? So complete the activity, find out R1, R2 and tell the value of R2 immediately in the chat box. I will write the value of R1, R2 here. So what is the value of R1 and R2? R1 is 20 times RS. RS is 300. So how much is that? Just do calculations. No time required. Okay. R1 is 6K and R2 is 30K. Okay. I think everybody understood this. So likewise, we should be able to decide the values of the components, right? So this is what the design involves. We are starting the analysis as well as design both hand in hand, so that it becomes easier for us to understand the circuit as well as analysis as well as the design process, right? So if we start with simple examples like this, we will be able to do even complex examples very easily, because this is all logical. There is nothing magic. Once you understand the logic, the things are very simple, right? Okay. So why to understand the input impedance of inverting amplifier? Because that is decided by R1. Fine. And R1 and R2 both decide the gain. So if you want to decide the component values, you need to understand these things. Okay. So henceforth, I repeat this, henceforth, if you are asked to find R1, R2 for inverting amplifier, what data you will ask? It means you are giving some interview, and the interviewer said that this is inverting amplifier, draw inverting amplifier. You had drawn that, and he is told R1 R2 का value निकालो. Then what will you ask him? Which data you will ask? Number one is gain, and the second one is important, Zin. आपको कितना इनपुट इम्पीडेंस चाहिए बताइए, मैं उसके मुताबिक R1 R2 फाइंड आउट करूँगा या करूँगी. एवरीबडी अंडरस्टूड दिस? सो यू विल आस्क, आप मुझे गेन बताइए और इनपुट इम्पीडेंस कितना चाहिए वो बताइए. अगर ये आपको पता नहीं है तो आई विल डिसाइड दैट. फॉर एग्जाम्पल गेन इज, उन्होंने बताया कि गेन इज 5, Z input impedance I don't know, whatever you want to decide, you decide. Then you will choose, there are options, 5 ohms, 1 ohm, then 5K, 1K, 50K, 10K, various options are there. Various options are there, out of which you can choose anything. But if you choose this first, तो क्या गड़बड़ होगा? If you choose the first one, because you are given freedom, what will happen if you choose this one? If you choose this combination, then Z in will be 1 ohm. It will be loading. Loading on what, Madhura? Loading on what? अगर हम, if we choose 1 ohm and 5 ohm as the resistor values, and suppose the input is 1 volt, then the current drawn by this is 1 volt divided by 1 ohm, that is 1 ampere. ये 1 एम्पियर करंट मांगेगा your circuit, so that the sensor will not be able to give. So what Madhura said is correct. It is the source which has to supply the current. and source will be happy or unhappy if large current is asked. What is the answer? Unhappy. So source will be unhappy if large current is asked. So 1 ohm is not good choice. ठीक है, तो 1 kilo ohm हो सकता है, 1 kilo ohm, then it will be 1 milliampere. Now this may be allowed, this may not be allowed, depends on the signal source. If the signal source is extremely weak, that signal source says that I am able to supply hardly some nanoamperes, then even microamperes I will not be able to provide. So in such case, this 1K also will not work. You need to go to 1 mega ohm, and then in that case it will be microampere. If the source is able to supply this much current, then it will be happy. Now, what is the meaning of happy? It means it will not be loaded. What is the meaning of what is not loaded? It means suppose एक सेंसर है, एक सेंसर you tell me any sensor name. Everybody knows pH. pH pH पता है pH value? Yes. Now there are pH sensors. pH sensor जैसे कि ये pH sensor है, ये हम बोलते हैं कि ये pH sensor है, और we have placed it in the beaker. ये हमारा pH सेंसर है, उसको 2 वायर्स है और वो सेंस करके हमको वोल्टेज देता है. द वोल्टेज विल बी इन माइक्रोवोल्ट्स, but the sensor is so weak, weak in the sense in supplying the current. Physically it is strong, but the current that it can supply is of the order of nanoamperes only. In that case, we have to ensure that the current drawn is less than few nanoamperes, and accordingly we have to choose R1. Everybody understood this? So depending on the signal source, whether it is weak or sufficient current can be drawn from the signal source, we can decide the value of R1. Okay. Now let us solve one more example. So V input is a battery, R1 is there, R2 is there. Values are given 5K, 1K, then RL is given to be suppose 10K, RL is given to be 10K. Then what you have to find out is you have to find out this current, that is current through R1, imagine that this is not given, R1 is not given, R1 is not given, only gain is given, gain is given to be 5, V input is 1 volt, तो आउटपुट कितना आएगा, गेन 5 है तो गेन -5, सॉरी -5, तो आउटपुट विल बी -5 volt. For simplicity, we'll keep it as 1K because it becomes easier to calculate the values. So will the current from into RL or inside RL will be from bottom to top or top to bottom? will the current from into RL or through RL will be from bottom to top case 1 or top to bottom case 2? Bottom to top, yes, bottom to top. So let me rub out this. और उसका वैल्यू कितना होगा? What will be the value? 5 milliampere, because it is 5 volt and 1 k. Yes or no? This will be 5 milliampere. Yes. So this current must flow like this. Let me show that. The current must flow like this only. There is no option. उल्टा नहीं जा सकता. Okay. Now this is positive. ये पॉजिटिव है, ये पॉजिटिव है. ठीक है. तो ये करंट कैसे जाएगा? ऐसे ही जाएगा. देयर इज नो ऑप्शन बिकॉज दिस इज जीरो, ये भी जीरो है. यस और नो? सो करंट थ्रू R1 विल बी फ्रॉम लेफ्ट टू राइट. ठीक है. व्हाट विल बी द केस इन करंट थ्रू R2? विल इट बी लेफ्ट टू राइट और राइट टू लेफ्ट? करंट थ्रू R2 अगर ये ऐसा है तो ये भी ऐसा ही होना चाहिए, because this same current is going to flow like this. Because this current is 0. Why? Because input impedance of op amp is very high. Right? फिर ये करंट कैसे जाएगा? ये ऐसे जाएगा और ये दोनों मिला के इधर जाएंगे. Okay. Now suppose this value is given, this value is given, this is 6 milliampere, ऐसा दिया है. और आपको करंट थ्रू R1 पूछा है, तो कैसे निकालोगे आप? How much will be? 1 milliampere. Correct. That will be 1 milliampere. ठीक है. So likewise the questions can be there in the examination. The circuit will be either described or given, and then some situation will be given, and based on situation you will have to answer. The questions will not be like this: explain inverting amplifier, because explain maybe a few marks. What is important is that you should be able to take decisions, maybe chota wala, but you should be able to take decisions. Decisions you can take only when you understand. So understanding is the whole thing. So questions in examinations will be based on some situation given. The question can be like this: Sunil is analyzing the following circuit and he is interested in finding out current through R1. The load resistor is 5K and so on. Many things are given. Appropriate things are given. Help Sunil to find current through R1. It is as good as you are in industry and you are helping some of your friend. So industry like situation we are mimicking in the exam itself, so that when you join industry you will not face any difficulty. ये तो मैंने पहले किया है. Is this good? Right. So accordingly you have to prepare for the examination. यानी कि एग्जाम के लिए प्रिपरेशन की ज़रूरत नहीं. There is no need to prepare for exam. Just go on understanding the things and the answer will be very short. बहुत लिखना नहीं है, 2 पेजेस 3 पेज ऐसा लिखने का कोई रहेगा नहीं. It will be short exam, short answer, and once you understand, you will be able to attempt that very easily. Okay. Now let me write here. Just a minute. Let me rub out this. Let me ask a question to you. Asking question is good because then it helps us to make our own opinions. Right. So first data given is gain is equal to 5. Okay. RL is 5K. RL is 5K. And this current is given to be 4 milliampere. And the question is whether this is possible or not. ऐसा पूछा है कि ये पॉसिबल भी है या नहीं है. दिस कैन बी 1 की रजिस्टर वैल्यूज भी दिए. सो ये पॉसिबल है क्या? No, not possible. Why, Pooja? Because for 4 milliampere to be here and 5 milliampere coming from here, it means 1 milliampere should flow like this. Yes or no? 1 milliampere ऐसा flow होना जरूरी है. ये 4 milliampere है तो ये 1 milliampere ऐसा flow होना चाहिए, ये ऐसा होना चाहिए, ऐसा होना चाहिए. ये ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है बिकॉज बैटरी तो यहाँ पॉजिटिव निगेटिव है. So this is wrong. ये करंट ऐसा नहीं जाता है because the battery is like this. Everybody understood this? So likewise you should be able to apply your common sense through understanding. Okay. Is this good as compared to the rote learning कि ये definition लिखो, ये remember करो? Nothing to remember. No remember. Just understand. एक बार understand हो गया तो there is no need to prepare anything. Right? This is the way in which IITs and IIScs ask questions. GATE also asks questions this way only. And if you are prepared in this way, then nobody will be able to cross question you because you are prepared. Right? Fine. तो ऐसे questions होंगे. अगर कोई दिक्कत है तो पूछना wherever you want. We can have some sample questions also, some example questions also. Will the example questions be useful? Yes or no? Shall I give some example questions? Okay, I'll give some example questions. In case I forget, please remind me. So we will prepare a set of example questions which you will solve. And then you will be automatically prepared for the evaluations. Maybe in semester evaluation or mid-semester evaluation. I hope you are understanding the things. Fine. Now, how much time do we have? We don't have much time, I think. So, it is time to break now then. Time to take a pause. So, we could understand the various things regarding the input impedance of inverting amplifier. The difference between virtual short and virtual ground is understood. We understood that virtual ground is a special case of virtual short. Therefore, virtual short is universal and therefore we should remember virtual short only. Then we talked about the input impedance of the inverting amplifier. We understood that input impedance of inverting amplifier is equal to R1 only. Now why this calculation is useful? Because we have to connect the signal source and the signal source should be happy, and for that we now are able to decide whether 5k 1k 5k 5 1 5k 1k 5 meg, like that we are able to choose the resistor pair properly. Okay, so we solve some uh, cases, and then we also discussed about how to uh, answer the various. Yes, I'll Rishabh, I'm recording that and will upload the lecture so you can see them, watch them later on. So I think this is enough. So let us take a pause because the time is up. Next time, what we will do, next time we will consider when to apply virtual short concept and when not to apply. Right now we are blindly applying that. We are saying that virtual short is there, but sometimes it may not be true. Okay, so this case, this we will consider in the next class. Is this fine? Was today's session useful? Any query? Now the time is up, so even query will take next time because the time is almost up. So thank you very much for being with all of us, sharing your thoughts, taking active part in the discussion in the classroom. Okay, so thank you very much. Thanks and have a nice day. Bye.